from CNN. Judge says he won't tolerate Trump's cursing and head shaking. That's how far we've gone. And look, all of these cases are quite clearly sham, election interference, nonsense. So I didn't want to talk about it. I love, screaming about the Bay Area and New York and the illegals. But this is just a bridge too far. They want to put him in jail for talking. They want to, lob crimes, all of which eventually fall through the ground level because none of it makes any sense. But now the judge is saying, you can't shake your head or what? What are you going to do? That's why I've said a million times, we should just ignore these people. But my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
Because the algorithm is a monster. It would help me a lot and it would cost you nothing. But if you want to help me even more and spend a little bit of money, go ahead and buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued. That link will be in the description.
To ask you about what happened when she was testifying and Donald Trump was reacting. I think it's the most we've seen him react physically and audibly. The judge even talking to his attorneys saying, look, I can hear that he was cursing audibly and shaking his head in the court, which could be intimidating to a witness.
This is crazy. Okay, we don't have enough time to go through all the hypocrisies, but look at just recently. Mad Max Waters, for the second time, basically calling for violence. You have this Marilyn Mosby lady. I mean, the list goes on and on and on about how those just aren't crimes. It's different when we do it. But if Trump mumbles in a courtroom at a sham hearing, that is a crime.
How do you think that he will respond now? If he talks about the witness, he can go to jail because of the gag order. So how do you think this frustration building in him will...
Yeah, so we can talk about him at every possible turn. We have been for the last 8 years, right? We can quite literally make up stories out of whole cloth and face no consequences. But if he mumbles under his breath while a porn star is cooking up a story, then he could go to jail.
Will come out.
I think that his lawyers are really going to have to keep him from violating the gag order. And I think that they may have found a bit of a workaround, which we saw yesterday, where he put up a Truth Social post, but then very quickly took it down. But then what happens? It's playing on TV all day. His message is still getting out. There's one thing Donald Trump's kind of brilliant on, and it's communications and sort of manipulating the media to cover things. So they're going to have to keep him under lock and key because he was furious yesterday. Well, the one thing, honestly, Joey just gave the most.
He was furious yesterday because he has been dealing with a complete kangaroo court in several different states for years now. And he's really angry. We have to keep him in check.
The best kind of prosecution argument I've heard. We don't have cameras, we don't have audio, so we're seeing these details come out because, to be honest, I thought yesterday was an incredibly mixed bag from what we know. Stormy Daniels, I've interviewed her before. There's a story of Stormy Daniels that is a mom, a Republican who supported Donald Trump before, someone who's been bankrupted.
Oh yeah, Stormy Daniels is a mom and a Republican, and this lady claims to be a Republican too, but she's a co-host on The View. I mean, she's a View Republican. She's a CNN Republican, right? Which are the ones that are ready, willing, and able to lay down and bow to the mob whenever possible.
By people like Michael Avenatti. She's now in debt to Donald Trump, and who really is a sympathetic figure. I think she could have told the story to explain, yes, this encounter took place, but I want to put this behind me. I want a private life. I want to raise my child. And getting into the salaciousness, I think, could actually backfire with the jury, especially because this is somebody who did admit, I hate him. I was surprised by that because she actually refused to tell me whether she would vote for Donald Trump again. That's far more compelling if this is a woman who's like, I don't actually hate Donald Trump. I even agree with his policies, but this in fact happened.
Yeah, and the defense did.
Yeah, I don't hate him. I agree with his policies, but the media has told me that I have to do this in order to, I guess, make money and pay back my crooked lawyer and pay money to Trump. It's just ridiculous. And this head shaking thing, I mean, he won't tolerate head shaking, right? You guys are out there trying to castrate kids, and head shaking in the courtroom is a bridge too far.
Did say that they wanted a mistrial because the judge had said you can talk about your encounter, your sexual encounter, in very limited terms, and they felt like...
Yeah, and she kept rambling on and on and on. There's another clip, I think from CNN, but it was on Instagram, and we'll take a look at it. But they basically admit that this weirdo, wino, porn star was just rambling on, I guess trying to pin the blame on, who knows what the hell she was trying to do.
She went over the line. The judge disagreed. I do want to ask you about this. Trump is talking again about potentially testifying. Here is what he has said, the latest thing he has said.
Do you plan to testify in court?
Probably so. I would like to. I mean, I think so.
Probably. I would like to. I think so. I mean, it's a bit waffly, but.
Wow, that was quite a hard-hitting soundbite. It was like 3 seconds, and then they're gonna analyze that. What Trump said, oh, he's gonna testify. I mean, this is just crazy, bro. And this is not changing any minds, right? Do you think the weirdo Palestine protesters or whatever, they're looking at this and saying, oh yeah, orange man bad, I'm gonna vote for Biden? No, it's all gone. And I think that even their weirdo, quote unquote, protesting for Palestine, even though it's quite clear they know nothing about what the hell's going on.
What's the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU's doing?
About what?
About Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Palestine will be free!
I wish I was more educated.
I'm not either.
Oh.
I came from Columbia. I was there up at Columbia, and we came down. They said NYU students needed our support, so I came down. I heard there's lots of cops. Some people were saying it was getting dangerous.
But that is just an excuse for them to admit that Beau Biden is terrible and has been terrible for several years. So they just take this new current thing from a year or so ago and pretend this is the reason why we don't like him. And even though he's trying to buy us with college loans and he's trying to buy us with legalizing weed and all that stuff, but he's so terrible that in their mind to rationalize it, they just say, oh, well, this is for Gaza, even though it's like, dude, it's all terrible. So this will, of course, only come down to whether or not voting is even real.
Because Stormy Daniels took the stand and because Michael Cohen is likely to take the stand and it's going to be combative and it's going to get ugly, do you think that will push him to the point where he says, I'm testifying?
So it'll push him, but I think you really have to exercise discipline in this particular situation. And there's a number of reasons why. Because even as it relates to sentencing, if he's convicted, judges do not like people who go on the stand and misrepresent things, right? And so she was clear. What is he going to say? This never happened. It's a figment of the imagination. I'm not.
Yeah, but it's all a kangaroo court. I mean, they're falling apart. They're collapsing left and right, starting with big, fat, furious, phony Fannie Pack Willis. It's all completely phony. And then, oh, well, judges don't like when they misrepresent. What?
Not a micromanager. I knew nothing about the personal checks I was writing in a Sharpie to Michael Cohen. And then you have to worry about, Sarah, not only factually, but remember the hearing with respect to what you can cross-examine him on.
Yeah.
That's not related to this case, right? The fraud issues in New York State in terms of, wow, the Attorney General, the $500 million, it opens it up to everything. He's got to exercise discipline. I know he takes his own counsel. This is counsel that he might want to take. Do not testify.
I have to ask you about this. Over and over and over and over again, Donald Trump has said, I have got to be at this trial, but I should be on the campaign trail. And this is just completely all about keeping me off the campaign trail. Today is a day.
Well, it is about keeping him off the campaign trail, but he's turning New York into a campaigning opportunity, but it's also about quite literally draining his pockets, right? Letitia James, Big Shame James, you owe us $400 million, billion, trillion. You owe us $9,000, $10,000 for violating the gag order. It's about keeping him off the campaign trail, which is failing miserably, and, draining his bank account, which might be, I guess, a little bit more successful as far as these people are concerned.
Day off of court. He's not campaigning. He's at Mar-a-Lago. Why?
I mean, it just blows my mind. Republicans knew that this was what they were going to get, somebody who's spending the most of their time in a courtroom, and when he's off, he's busy golfing. It makes no sense, but my one caution is there is a world in which these trials may help Donald Trump. And what I mean by that is he's not on the campaign trail.
Duh, you idiots. These people...
I am speechless. I am without speech.
This, I guess, is... she used to work for Trump or whatever, a fake Republican saying, well, this might actually help Trump. What did you think was going to happen? You thought you were do these people at CNN, are they really that deep in their bubble, in their New York, Atlanta, Los Angeles bubble, that they think the majority of people in the middle of the country, you think the Kansans, the Texans, the people in Idaho, the people in Kentucky, you think they're all just brainwashed by this nonsense? No, it's a handful of people in these big blue cities who can't tell their ass from their elbow. Nobody else is on board with this. And I'd be willing to bet that even the liberal weirdos, brainwashed sheep, are also kind of saying, wait, this doesn't really add up.
Saying immigrants poison the blood of America. We're going to round up 11 million people and put them in detention camps. He's actually kind of silent. People are forgetting the
Don't put them in detention camps. Send them back to wherever the hell they came from.
Chaos. They're forgetting the drama. Stormy may contradict that, though. I think now that that's front and center, you remember the chaos that surrounds him, but he's not out working. He's not trying to get Republicans reelected.
Oh yeah, he's not doing it. He's not doing anything. These people are all completely pathetic. And here is a live report from outside the courtroom from CNN. They say adult film star Stormy Daniels dished out salacious details of her encounter with former President Trump in 2006. From the witness stand on Tuesday, describing how they met at a celebrity golf tournament and what she says happened when she went to Trump's Lake Tahoe hotel room. And you can see the top comment here. Do you follow Hillary and Hunter Biden's trials this closely? Oh, wait, never mind. That's exactly correct.
Adult film star Stormy Daniels on the witness stand today. She walked into the courtroom avoiding any eye contact with Donald Trump, sat in the witness stand and began her testimony.
She didn't look at Donald Trump? Is it because she knows this is all a scam and she would rather not face the person who she's trying to burn at the stake for the sake of the establishment regime?
The jury everything about her life to this encounter with Trump in 2006 at the golf tournament. A lot of her answers were fairly long-winded and chock full of details, and the judge at times had to stop her.
So even CNN is like, yeah, this lady rambled on for way too long about some details from 15, 16 years ago. No, longer than that, right? Was it 2024? So 18 years ago. And she wants you to know so bad about the salacious details. Same with E. Jean Carroll. Oh, we were at a Bergdorf Goodman and I was wearing a dress that didn't come out until 5 years down the line. I mean, it's all a complete mess. And even CNN, as bad as they are, has to admit that, yeah, she rambled on for far too long and this is probably not going to work. That's what she's saying.
And remind her to both speak slowly and to just answer the question. Now, throughout her testimony, including more of the salacious parts where she described being in Trump's hotel room and saying that she remembered looking at a toiletry bag that had a gold manicure set on it. She said she left that bathroom and then saw Trump in his boxer shorts on the bed. She even demonstrated to the jury, lifting her leg and her arm to suggest he was lying back on the bed. Trump during this time was nudging his attorneys, hitting them in the arms so they would object to some of this line of questioning. Daniel's testimony is continuing. She'll be on the stand for a while.
So she's going to keep going for a while. We're going to drag this out as long as we can and try to make Trump look bad. But who is it for? Okay, you've maybe got a couple of people that already hate Donald Trump and they're not going to be swayed in the other direction. And you got a whole bunch of diehard Trump supporters who are not going to immediately turn on him because some weirdo porn star rambled on the stand and started putting her leg up to imitate Donald Trump. Who is this for? What is actually happening? And what do you hope to gain out of this? You're going to put him in jail? You're going to start CW2? What is the end goal of this? And for the final time, I was trying to ignore this. I don't care about any of these bogus trials. But when I saw the video of CNN saying that the judge won't tolerate head shaking, that was just too much.